Hi everyone. This is a little tutorial on how to do a running record with students to help figure out where they might have some trouble reading and to know where to start your Tier 1 instruction. I have set up this handy dandy website, Creating Language Artists, and I'm going to just use some of the assessment tools today and show you how to get started with that. So you would go to the creatinglanguageartists.weebly.com website with the password Inca Teachers, all lowercase, and then on the assessment tools, the one I really like is under the assessments of reading fluency and using running records. Click here on the second part for the detailed information about scoring running records. And if you click on that, the page is going to look like this. And you go down to the running records, click on that, and then click on the student copy. I've chosen to go ahead with level W, which is probably about a 6th grade reading level, and that's a good place to start with our kids in middle school. So what you're going to find there, if you go under student text, is a text for students. And these are PDF files, so they're really easy to download and put into your live lesson room. Have a student come in and just do some reading aloud with you. And you can see here that the print is nice and big, and it has a decent amount of more difficult vocabulary here and some good differences in punctuation. You have question marks and quotes and periods and all that. You're also going to want to download under here where it says the teacher copy, just obviously match up to letter W. And this is what the teacher copy is going to look like. So what I like to do is print out a copy of this and just have it in front of me while the student's reading. Some people like to do it online. So you could convert it to a Word document so that you could mark on it, do highlights on it, anything like that. And I really like this form because it has exactly what the student is going to be reading, and it marks how many words that you're getting to. And it gives you your directions up here on the top. So you're going to want to time the student while they're reading, and you're going to want to do what's called a miscue analysis, which is a fancy way of saying marking their errors and making notes on how they read. So you're going to want to mark if they get a word wrong and what they say the word is. If they self-correct, if they get to the end of the sentence and realize it doesn't make any sense and go back and self-correct, that's actually a really good thing. Are they pausing? How are they reading? Does the word that they switch it to make sense? It's just not the correct word. All those things can tell you a lot about how a student is reading. For example, if they continually say a T word for tobacco that isn't tobacco but is the same word and is similar, you can see that they are able to generalize the first letter but might be missing some other key points. You're also going to want to time them how long it takes so that you can see how many words per minute that they read. Ideally, a fluent reader in middle school would be reading about 100 to 125 words a minute, possibly faster for your more advanced readers. You're going to want to pay attention. Is it wooden? Is it stiff? What is going on there? And then you can see down here at the bottom, you're going to want to count how many miscues they have if they don't self-correct. If a student goes back and corrects the error, then it does not count as a miscue or an error. You want to have them between 96 and 100% to show that they have mastery of that level. If a student has fewer than 96% correct, then it's probably too difficult for them and you'll want to move them down a level. Then you're going to want to check for comprehension. So you're going to want to have students retell or summarize what they read and write down what they say. You can tell a lot about how much a student is understanding by how they do a summary. It's interesting to see sometimes what kids might focus on, because the summary, they're going to want to hit all the main points of the story. Sometimes they tell you a story that is completely different and unrelated to the text. So you can tell there that maybe they read at 100% with zero miscues, but they're not understanding a word that they say. So that, or that they read. So you know then that student needs some extra help in comprehension skills. Then you're going to want to come down here and give them a few comprehension questions that are both literal and inferential, just to see what the student remembers from the text. Then you can check which level they are. So just look through this rubric. It's fairly straightforward, and decide where the student is at this level. If they're at a level 3 or a level 4, then you probably are going to want to try them at a higher level and see where they are. If they are not fluent at a level 1 or 2, then you obviously would want to try a lower level to see how they do at that level. And I love this form because everything is all here. Then you have, was their accuracy rate 96%? Yes or no? And just some good notes for you there to see how the student is doing. And this sort of an assessment is a great place to start if you're doing a Tier 1 intervention. Then you know what to work with the students on. Do you need to work with them on their fluency, which is how they read? Are they reading slow and choppy and missing a lot of words? You may want to work with them on that at a slightly lower level. Do they read beautifully but have poor comprehension? Then you would want to do some Tier 1 interventions with them on different comprehension skills to bring up that level of understanding of a text. You can scan this document in, save it as a PDF file, and upload it into the student's PLP as evidence of your Tier 1 intervention. Then you could document over a couple weeks the things that you do to improve reading comprehension skills, and then go back and do another running record in a couple of weeks and see if the student's level is improving at all. Another nice thing I like about this site, if you go back here, they have sample responses for all of these topics and passages as well. And this is what the one looks like for our level W here. And it has sample answers for the questions. Obviously, you're probably smart enough to get these answers on your own, but sometimes it's nice to see what a nice sample answer would look like for these different kinds of questions. So that's, in a nutshell, is how you would do a running record. And these, again, are excellent ways to kind of track how a student is reading, what they might need some help with, and where they need to go from there. Thanks.